Today's main story is about an incinerator that is to be built in our local area.
Let's go to our main story correspondence now. The new Barnfield incinerator, a useful waste dispenser or a creator of pollution.
Tensions are high in Welling Hatfield and New Barnfield, with the construction of an incinerator hanging in the balance.
It is proposed that the containment dome will be 41 metres high, 150 metres long and 170 metres wide. This is nearly as tall as the O2 Arena and half as wide.
Veolia Environmental Services call it an energy from waste plant, which will gather waste from across the country that cannot be recycled or recovered by mechanical means.
Of course, the incinerator will be a useful waste disposal method, but it does create a lot of pollution.
We will now hand over to Lewis and Matt to tell us more about how they operate.
Thank you. Most countries in the world these days use incineration as their waste disposal method. Incinerators work just like giant ovens. They burn all waste and send the fumes into the air, which is killing the environment. All the gases that are released will generate electricity for people, and the ash, left over, is usually mixed to make roads, cement blocks, or can be put into landfill sites. Most people are against incinerators as all the materials burned, such as wood, plastic, glass and metal, can be used in some other way. The figures are that in the UK alone, it is estimated that 13,000 people die a year of pollution.
This is twice as many people that die of road accidents every year in the UK. This is how incinerators work. All the waste collected is put into the holding area until it is picked up and dropped into a container called a hopper. The waste is then pushed into this incinerator and burnt at about 750 degrees Celsius. This heat is about 4 times hotter than a domestic oven. The heat from the incinerator boils and steam goes to a generator to produce electricity. Ash from the fire is collected and gases from the fire go through a machine that removes some of the poisons. Dust is then removed from the gas before it comes out through the chimney. Here are the problems.
In total, a new incinerator could cost over £1 billion. They are planning to build this incinerator on green belt land and also next to a pond filled with endangered species. It will also be built next to a special needs school, which will have to close down if it is built.
Also to do with the price, the impact it could have on other budgets is that the council will have to make further on top of the existing 70 million to other council services. The positives are the incinerator will give 7 megawatts of power for every 100,000 tonnes burned. Also, it reduces the weight of waste burnt by 75% and it reduces volume of waste burned by 90%.
Thank you for listening.
Now, back over to Lydia and Beto.
In 2008, plans for an incinerator to be built in New Barnfield were put forward by the County Council, as much of Hatfield's waste was being landfilled.
They said that Hatfield had to find ways of limiting the waste they exported to landfills every year, and that the new facility would be able to process around 380,000 tonnes of waste, saving taxpayers millions in landfill.
However, these plans were met with roaring protests from the general public, with over 50,000 petition signatures, as well as disagreement from Conservative Party Chairman Grant Shapps.
In their planning application back in 2009, Veolia revealed that over 180 vehicles would traverse the single-lane road outside the site every hour. Increased traffic will result in more accidents on the A1M, as well as a highly unpleasant environment for the surrounding area and Southfield School, which is just around 500 feet from the planned location.
Although members voted 11-4 in favour of the energy from waste plant, Grant Shapps said that he had written a letter to Secretary of State Eric Pickles, urging him to call in the decision to be re-examined by government inspectors. In the meantime, however, protests will continue, and Paul Sikowski from the Hatfield Against Incineration campaign group says the fight goes on.
We now head over to Fabio and Lucy to interview some of the local residents.
How do you feel about the incinerator being built?
I think it's a bad idea because it's a waste of money and why can't we use the money for more needy things?
Are you happy with the fact that your parents' taxes are being used to pay for the incinerator?
No, because I think the taxes should go to more needy things like potholes in the road.
Thank you for your time.
Did you know that pollution kills approximately 13,000 people a year? That's twice as much as road accidents.
I didn't know that, but now that I do, I think that's even more reasons for it not to be built, because obviously it's not having a good effect on the people surrounding it.
If it was your choice, then would you decide for or against the incinerator?
I would decide against it because even though it's going to get rid of waste materials that otherwise wouldn't be able to be recycled, it's obviously not having a good effect on the environment.
Are you happy with the fact that your parents' taxes are being used to pay for the incinerator?
No, because I think taxes should be paid for things like the NHS, which the government is actually cutting funding to. That's a bad idea.
Did you know that pollution kills approximately 13,000 people per year? That's twice as much as road accidents.
Really? Well, I think that the money should be coming off the pollution link stuff, and I think it should be going towards road accidents as well, so then you kill two birds with one stone.
How do you feel about the incinerator being built?
I think it's a really stupid idea because, we should be encouraging people to recycle more, not making massive waste burning facilities just to get rid of more unrecycled rubbish.
Are you happy with the fact that your parents' taxes are being used to pay for the incinerator?
I think it should be spent on more useful things. There's a lot more sort of things that need improving that the money could be spent on, rather than just making something that wouldn't actually have any positive benefits on our area.
Thank you for your time.